Welcome to the Inspired Riding Podcast. I'm your host, Beth Lauren Parrish. As a certified riding instructor, remote coach, and rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a powerful form of hypnotherapy, I'm here to remind you to slow down, trust your intuition, and really deeply listen to your horse. And this will make for the best co-creative dances possible, whether you're on the ground or connecting on their backs. Thank you so much for being here, and here we go. Hey everyone, thank you for being here again. We are continuing the Animal Wisdom series with Jana Wagner, and today we're going to talk to my sweet POA, Pony of the Americas, Pepper Pony, also known as Practically Perfect Pepper Parish Pony. He likes to be called Pepper the Real Deal Pony. And that was something Jana had discovered. He told her that a while ago, and he actually really perks up when we say that. It's really sweet. And he's going to be 19 this year. Pretty amazing. I've had him now almost 6 years. So I'm very, very eager to hear what he has to say. And thank you again for being here, Jana.
There's no way he's 19. Yeah, happy to be here. And also, sometimes animals, just for all of you listening, sometimes animals come in really quick, and there does not need to be a lot of chit chat before or a whole lot of getting quiet and listening, because they're right in my ear right away. Now, Pepper would like to first start with revisiting the show name. Did we choose a show name and finalize it?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't believe we did. Does he have something in mind?
The Real Deal.
The Real Deal.
Did he have a different show name? What was
yes,
it? Happy something?
It was called, they were calling him for the show name Pep in My Step.
That's it. Like, I remembered Happy Feet.
Pretty much, yeah. All of these would apply for this pony, yes.
He thinks that's funny, but he said when he thinks of Happy Feet, he thinks of something that waddles, and he doesn't waddle, he struts. So, yeah, I can't even remember what you just told me, because he's erased it. He said, let's erase it. That is not my name anymore. It can be Pepper or Perfect Pepper or one of those combinations. But when we do enter a show, it's going to be The Real Deal. Got it?
Cool. So are we going to just say The Real Deal, or are we going to say Pepper the Real Deal Pony?
Just The Real Deal.
I love it. That's awesome.
He said, you got to bring big money energy if you're going to compete. He said, let's be honest.
It's interesting because I actually was looking at a schooling show this morning, considering it.
Oh. All right. Well, okay. So I'm glad we got clarification on that then. He said, where did you want to start, Beth? He said, I have a lot in store for all of you, but you hit me with a question first.
I'd love to know what's been on your mind lately. I know things have been a lot of up and down. The weather's been weird. What's top of mind that you'd like to share with us?
Okay. When winter weather can be unpredictable and up and down, it's a very good idea to gather up all the swirling ideas and desires and things that you think you want to be doing or need to be doing with your horse. Gather those up and use this time to start laying a clear path. Use this time to take each one of those swirling pieces and lay it down into a path. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to hold to a system. It just means it gives you space and clarity to move along a path together. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, I have more. He said, use this time to start studying the things that you want to do together. Tune in with us as you study. When it warms up, come out and read it with us, walk with us. He said he's kind of referring to the dressage test idea, but this could apply anywhere. Read the test together, study it together, learn it together, start walking it together. It only takes 5 minutes, and it is worth every 5 minutes, even if it's once a day. It will school your mind in a really beautiful way. And when you tune in with me or us, we learn it very quickly so that then when it is time to ride, we will both be on the literal same page. Fitness comes with the mental fitness. The physical will follow very quickly with the mental fitness. He said he understands because he has taught a lot of people. He understands that without practice, it's very difficult. And he thinks that a lot more riding schools would do a lot better if those riders went home and studied and practiced on their feet and practiced their patterns and got more mental gymnasty. He's calling it gymnasty, but like gymnastics, mental gymnastics. But he said gymnasty because he said it's more flexible and pliable. He wanted to combine the gymnastic idea with elasticity. And he said, isn't elasticity part of the building pyramid that you humans put together for training us? He said, so if you've got a horse that can be mentally resistant and or weather that does not allow for a lot of physical movement, really dedicate the time to the mental fitness because it creates a lot more clarity. Oh, wow. He said this is the missing piece to throughness. So coming through the top line and really through their body and into a self-carriage frame. He said this is the missing piece to throughness. And if more riders would take the time to mentally gymnasticize, I love him, we would be able to learn self-carriage and throughness much faster because we would have the mental understanding of what's being asked. He said too many rely on the physical teaching cues and cures. Cures, he says, are whip or spurs. He said, I'm not saying don't use them. I'm saying that people reach for those when they feel like they don't have anything else. And a lot of times just a spur or a little tap of the whip cures if we feel stuck. He said, usually feeling stuck, in his opinion, comes from mental stuckness. He said that humans need to teach their minds and their bodies what movement and flow feels like. The people that are at the top of their sport are there because they have mentally trained. They have mentally taught themselves and their bodies how to be flexible. And he said, I don't mean yoga flexible. I mean able to shift and adapt with great ease. And he said, Beth, if you could make me canter left a bit more when it's safe to canter, that would help my fitness a great deal. He said, I need a little help.
That is accurate. Yes.
He said he has a harder time carrying his frame and he'd rather just put his head low and dip his nose in, and he knows that that's not quite right. He said that it's hard to balance that direction for him. So if you could remind him that he needs to canter left a bit more, and he's showing me just at liberty. But he said, usually I like to stop and go the other way. So he said, Beth, you're going to have to crack down on me and make me do it sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, I do find having him canter on the lunge line is easier because I can manage it a little better. Because when he canters at liberty, he can just wander off because we don't have a fence or anything. He literally will canter off into the woods and then come back. It's funny.
He said, do you have other questions?
Are there things you want to be doing that we haven't done yet?
Nope.
Okay, good. What advice would you give people to help them with their connection when they're riding, especially?
Do your due diligence before you get on. He said what he means by that is what he just was talking on about: doing your homework, getting mental flexibility. He really thinks mental flexibility is so important because he said he came from a very rigid way of doing things. And that isn't to mean that I felt that anyone was unkind. That's not it at all. Please don't misunderstand. It's just his observation of people who stop trying to have neuroplasticity, stop trying to have mental flexibility, and devote entirely on mental and physical rigidity, because this is how it's done. At the end of the day, he and I agree on this. At the end of the day, if you know how to play the game, competing is easy. What makes you really good in both the show ring and out is being flexible, being really present. So he's using flexible a lot as a way of being present. So for some, being present is just about being really still and really quiet. And perhaps that's where many need to start. Because being present takes a great deal of mental and physical focus and practice, it's important that if your preference of learning presence is by being still, that is important that you begin to train yourself to be present when you move. That's what creates additional mental flexibility. It creates muscle memory, and it tells your body what you need it to do. So listen, it's the same after an injury when you rehabilitate. You understand how mentally challenging it is, and you continue to help your mind and your body come together and work together. I keep wondering to him about where do the emotions play into this, and he goes, it's not important right now. He says, you all have a lot of love or you wouldn't be bothering with us. So,
oh, that's so sweet.
Just keep the love tab open in your system and focus on your mental and physical connection. He had a different word, but connection, your mental physical connection. So you have more gymnasticity in it. He said that is another area that will bring you confidence because you're Oh, that's the word, because you're conjoining these aspects of yourself. It is very easy for humans, because of the way they learn sometimes, to compartmentalize and to be too much in their mind, and their body is just trying to catch up and trying to catch up. And he thinks this is where people lose confidence, because your body and your mind are not conjoined in a functional way. Clearly, fitness and strength plays a role too, because your body can respond more efficiently. But if your mind is leaving your body behind, all your body can do is send you warning signals and become more rigid. He said I could share about something I worked with a, a client with yesterday, because of an injury and walking and getting more mobility in the legs again. We talked a lot about how to articulate the legs. And so one of the exercises I offered to this person was to just lift one foot up and write the alphabet with their toe. And then I stood there and I said, okay, but you should do both feet. So even if only one leg is affected, you need to do the other one too. So that's the same idea as working a horse both directions, because we're looking to have a more balanced athletic individual, less one-sided, right? And then I had a good chuckle, because I said, so look, when I lift my left foot up, I'm right-handed, and when I lift my left foot up, I have to really think and focus and pay attention to writing the alphabet with my left foot, because it requires a different set of systems. So I just found it so fascinating, because I could feel my brain working and my body's just kind of going, you're funny. This is easy.
That's really cool.
It's the same idea, though.
And I'm guessing you do each foot individually while you,
I did. If you do
yeah,
them together, more power to you. But
yeah,
I almost wrote the C backwards, because my mind wanted to flip it. It was really fascinating.
that's really cool. I'm actually doing it as we were talking. It's fun.
And by golly, we got that person yesterday marching through her house. Her, I was so proud of her.
So for Pepper, is there anything that has surprised him with our relationship together?
Beth, every day is a surprise with you. He said what he loves and appreciates about you is that he understands a lot of horses talk about consistency from their people being really, really important. But he said the thing is, I don't worry about if someone's going to show up to feed us. I don't worry about if my needs are taken care of. He said, I just don't worry about those things. I just am always pleased and surprised every time Beth or Charlie shows up, because they usually have like some fun story or something that I didn't know anything about. So every day is a surprise when they show up. And he said every day Beth is like, hey, what do you want to do? And he goes, ooh, let me pick. That's his favorite thing.
I love that. Is there anything specific that he loves to do more than others?
He said one of the reasons I started with studying your tests or looking at things that way, he said, I miss reading. And he said, I understand that it's cold and reading a book outside is not ideal right now, but I miss reading. He also says it would be really fun when you ride if you tuned in with him when you're inside so you can stay warm. He's so sweet. Um, write down a little plan, and then, tune in with him, write down a little plan together, and then go on out and you understand this, whether you follow that plan or not. He thinks that it'll just continue to create a lot of fun and satisfaction. He said, I know she kind of wanted, like, when we do this game or that ride, he said, but I like all of it. So I would be remiss if I picked one thing that was my favorite, because you know how sometimes your favorite thing, if done too much, becomes commonplace. But he thinks that, like, for example, when you have a day that you're going to go out and ride, just tune in with him and say, would you like to do this? And what else would you like to do? And he said it'll be really quick and really easy.
I love that. And it reminds me to get my companion journal for inspired riders back out and start using it more.
Yeah.
Because there's a section every day you check in with your horse before you even go out there to see what they want to do. So that's perfect.
Yeah, it's making me think too, because I have a 25-minute drive to my horses. And I usually wait till I get there and poke my head out the door and say, hey, want to go riding today? And if they show up, it's a yes. But Kenny never says no either.
It's good to give them a heads up and kind of feel into their energy before you even see them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great reminder.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we could talk about tack for him and for horses in general.
Sure. But first, he does miss those German horse cookies. So I said I'd just bring it up. Uh, doesn't have to be all the time. He said, I understand, but I do miss them.
That's so interesting. I don't know that I've actually purchased those for him. Maybe in the beginning, but I don't really recall. Maybe he had them before me.
Oh no, you've had them before. You just don't remember.
Okay, that I just don't remember.
Yeah. You had them before. Maybe someone sent them to you and that's why it's not jogging.
Probably. Oh, they have them at our local store. I think I can find them. Yeah.
If not, I know where they're on sale. I can tell you later.
Oh, thanks. Okay. All the deals.
Okay. Could you ask that question again, please?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I wanted to know if he prefers certain tack and if he has a general sense of what horses like more than others regarding saddles, bridles, bitless, bridleless guides, things like that, bareback pads. Anything he wants to say about tack.
He said, here first, let me just preface with everyone is different. Everyone is going to like something different. And he said, I love and appreciate that Beth wants to know this, not only for me, but for the whole, because he also understands that there's a lot of conflicting emotions among humans about the best treatment of horses. And he said, I love and appreciate that. And it's important to match the tack to the horse and to the rider that feel like the best complement to both. That is what is ultimately going to work the best. He said he sees treed saddles, treeless saddles. He sees all the varieties of saddles to be the same as high heels. Some really like high heels and some do not. Some really like hard, structured shoes. Some really like squishy, 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 squishy shoes. He said it really all just depends on how both of you are the most comfortable or the most familiar. So it's really important. I would love to give you a simple solution, but it's really important to use your inner compass exercise and start to wonder to your horse. Write down a dynamic list of questions about your saddles. If you ride English, what kind of tree do you need? Do you need a flexible tree? Do you need a more rigid tree? Do you need a narrow? He said, you see where I'm going, how detailed this can become, but the more detailed, the better. And then when you go to find those saddles, you have a really clear understanding of what you need to look for. So not only does it need to fit us, but it needs to balance you correctly. You'll never be happy if you only fit it to us. We will never be happy if you only fit it to us. He said it's just like, he's telling me, it's just like how I chose which saddle to get for Kenny right now at this stage in his life, because I have those tree lists that my other horses love, and he thinks it's the weirdest thing in the world because he's never experienced that and it's too much sensation for him. But finding something obviously that fits appropriately, but like he's reminding me that Kenny really liked the structure. He really likes structure because this is the way he grew up. And the saddle represents a certain sort of structure. So it may be, and Pepper switchback. Pepper's saying it may be that 2-3 years down the road, Kenny will prefer a treeless and find it liberating and joyful and comfortable for him. But he said, Jana, I know that you like them, but aren't that comfortable in them. So he said, I want to just remind you, Jana, how comfortable you are because Kenny is currently comfortable. So he said one of the riders' first tip-offs, if they're thinking that there's something with the saddle isn't right, is to take a moment and check in with your mental and your body. And do you feel balanced? Do you feel comfortable? If you feel like you're tipping a direction, something's off. And it will be off for both of us. He said he has seen many a rider sit in a saddle that quote unquote fits the pony, but not the rider, and the rider struggles the whole time, and that throws us off too. So we're in a constant state of rebalancing and catching our rider. And not that we don't want to, and not that we don't get good at it, but it's hard for us too. So he feels the number one thing with a saddle is to use your inner compass. If you don't know how to do it, Beth will teach you. And then create a very dynamic list of requirements. You know, do you have a short backed horse? Do you have a long backed horse? What is your discipline? All of those little details. Where is the rigging set? All of those details. And then once it quote unquote fits us and you sit in it, if you feel it all awkward, it is not the right answer. Simple as that.
I love that. Thank you.
I do too. God, that's incredible.
And now I'd love to know what he prefers.
Okay, he wanted to go to the bridles. So will you put a pin in the bridle question so that we can come back to it?
Absolutely.
What he prefers? He likes what you have now. He just recognizes that you and he are ever evolving physically. Little adjustments from time to time are important because yours is very adjustable, right?
Yes. Does he prefer the bareback pad or the saddle, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Cool.
Whatever you're in the mood for, as long as you feel balanced, he doesn't care.
Awesome.
He thinks that you are preferring the bareback pad right now, and he said that that is fine. Because he said that we are ever evolving. And he said that you and he are in a space right now where your bodies are doing a lot of restructuring.
Yep, all that Pilates.
All that rebuilding, yeah. So he said There's something with the saddle still that the back's bumping you a little bit forward yet. And that's his concern. The bareback pad obviously doesn't bump you any direction.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But he said, hey, listen, don't get the helper lady for the saddle just yet. Wait till the weather's better.
Oh, for the Hidalgo saddle.
Yeah, because he said
Yeah.
being that furry makes everything fit different too.
Yes.
He actually thinks if you want to start training for the schooling show to just do the bareback pad and really get a good feel for each other and then move into the saddle. That's his advice.
Okay. Love it.
Okay. Pepper said, are you satisfied? Can I talk
Yes, thank you.
bridle? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. He would highly recommend doing a list for your horse, a dynamic list for your horse, where bits, bridles, and bridleless are concerned. And using your inner compass to go down that list to ask your horse about it. He said, here's the thing about bits. Sometimes it fits our mouth right, and that's wonderful, and we like it. Sometimes it doesn't match the hands. So what a fitter or science or measurements might tell you your horse needs or would prefer in their mouth might not match a rider. Because if you think about it, a loose ring has a different feel than a D ring or an elevator or a gag or a curb. They're all going to feel different in the rider's hands. So I feel it's important to not only fit our mouth appropriately, but to offer a style that is appropriate to the rider's feel. I just started laughing because he's like, yeah, I know. I don't know how you teach someone that, but you need to just trust it and do it. He said he really likes his bit because he can feel exactly where you are at all times. And he said he likes the bitless okay, except that sometimes a bitless pulls on the full face. And he says, when you use the bit, you don't pull on my face at all. Now, this isn't a criticism of you. It's the way I feel the equipment is working.
I appreciate that. And I feel like he's really showing me
Yeah, it's
how to steady my hands too. So, yeah.
and then I was wondering to him about his bitless versus just a halter. And he said, well, a halter never tightens on your face. So even if you have a bitless that doesn't have a tightening aspect or a pulley aspect like some of them, he says the whole thing, because it has to be fitted the way it is so it doesn't fall off, will always pull on the whole face. Some horses like this a lot because they need help remembering where their heads are in space. So much like you might use a ace bandage to wrap the head to help teach body awareness, he said he believes from his own experience that horses that prefer a bitless really thrive on the contactual aspect of the headgear connecting with the head and reminding the mind and the body where the head is in space. He said those of us that really prefer the bit and a light feel, we don't need pressure on our heads to focus or know where our heads are. We have that knowing already. We just have to remember that everyone has different shoes that they like. So it's the same for our bridles. Now, bridleless. He just thinks it's fun. He thinks it's really fun.
Cool.
He said that's all. He really has an opinion about it. He said, I wouldn't say it's better or worse or anything. He goes, I think it's just really fun. And he said, sometimes being this way helps us remember our roots. And it's kind of like primal, it's like beginning, it's like the way we used to be before the marking of time. And he said, if you would like to bring more of that into your life, then by all means, keep exploring that, all of you. But don't feel bad if it's not your thing, because you might also have a horse that doesn't like it because they want to know where you are at all times. Some horses just need you to hold their hand a whole lot more than others. So again, create your dynamic list, create your equipment requirements, and then go down your list and use your inner compass. Don't be afraid to try many things. Don't be afraid to notice when your horse feels like they're ready to try something else. Because that bit or bit list that you chose then on that day and use for a while, they might be ready to move into something else. So just like developing any horse through a discipline, you might have a horse that wants the same thing their whole life. You might have a horse that says, I'm ready for something different. And you just go with it. But keep coming back to your list. And that is how you navigate equipment rules in the competitive atmosphere. That is how you stay within the rules of requirements for equipment and keep you and your horse in a good, safe place that feels good and confident for both of you. Okay, next.
I love it. So I'm curious because I know you notice everything. And we've had some interesting encounters at our property. Most recently, the other day, we saw a really big fox, and you saw it first and you alerted me to it. And I know we've had deer, we've had armadillo, probably possums, and of course the peacock that used to come over. Do you converse with these animals? Do they give you any kind of sense of messages or anything, or are they just interesting to look out for you?
The deer are my friends. Peacocks are just nosy. They like to showboat. They like to come over and say, hey, did you see my new high heels? Did you see my new jewels? Look at me. He said they're so nosy. The deer are his friend. He said they're gentle and lovely and curious. And sometimes we play. I really love that. He said to let you know it's possible you may see the fox again because the fox is scouting areas to stay, to live. He said that fox's home is getting disrupted for building. He said the fox asked, how's your water around here? And Pepper said, I told him it was plentiful. I told him it was safe too. He said, your place is safe. He also said the fox is scouting areas, so may or may not be back. He doesn't know. He said, I like to think of the wildlife that comes around, much like when your friends visit, much like when you meet a new person when you're out and about, or just have a random conversation. He says there's so much joy and love to be shared when others show up. And he thinks it's just delightful. He said to tell you the reason he gets so jazzed and snorts and prances is because he's excited. And also, he's like the trumpet blower that announces an arrival. He said that you should know he really isn't afraid. He just gets very excited because there's a new friend. He said, so the best way to support me in this excitement is, hey, Pepper, who's your new friend? Come tell me all about it. And he says that will help him calm down because then he doesn't have to sound the trumpet to get your attention anymore. But if you say, hey, Pepper, come tell me who you just met, or come tell me who you see, come tell me all about your new friend. He said, and then if there is danger, then I will tell you then. It's just how he likes to express his excitement and alert you. But it's interesting because I feel like the way he postures would make you think he's stressed or anxious, but he's actually just really excited.
I can see that.
Yeah, and he's like, whoa, did you see that? Whoa, what was that? Just has so much enthusiasm.
That leads me into another question that has been in the back of my mind. Like, does he ever get bored? Are there things that like I could do to help him if he does?
He says, what you can do to help me in those moments, especially if we're together, remind me that he needs to save his enthusiasm for later and remind me that we made a plan for the day and I need to focus. He said he's like the kid in school that sits in his chair and then something catches his eye and he's like, did you see that?
And he runs to the window to look. Yeah.
Uh-huh. He said, so just remind me not to listen to those things around us. He said, he said, I get so enthusiastic and I'm listening to everything all the time. So he said, just remind me to listen in the workspace. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, but my alternative question was I guess I also wanted to know like does he get bored when I'm not working with him? Or is he just content to hang out with Indy?
Oh, yes, he does. That's why he said, do you remember one of the things I started talking about was making your intentional list or just tuning in and checking in with me once a day, every other day, just to kind of make that list to keep your mental and physical kind of focused on what's ahead. Okay. Yeah. He's bringing me back to what he was talking about in the beginning of the conversation about swirling ideas and too many things going on. And he thinks that sometimes it just is really good to take a moment to lay a new path because you can't get bored if you have a little bit of a plan. Make sense?
Definitely. And then he knows that I'm still engaging even if I'm in my house because
Yeah.
I'm connecting with him energetically. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Just doing that alone would resolve a lot of boredom for a lot of horses.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's an important piece because that's I think my main issue is when I get so busy doing other stuff, I have that feeling of guilt, and I think it's just tied to him just going, when are we going to do stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. And, it doesn't have to be so structured that it has to be a training program or get this done in 30 days kind of thing, because that's not where a lot of us are at. I mean, he's playing into some of my feelings about this too, because I have a goal for June for Kenny and I feel trying to remind myself not to feel frustrated or impatient because the weather is what it is. And so I'm really grateful for his ideas because it helps me think about ways I want to move through our limitations, for lack of a better word, and focus on reverse engineering the goal, right?
Yes.
So that snow and ice, and then I don't focus on, well, I don't have this, that, or the other thing, which other people don't have either. I mean, there's plenty other people where I live have the same weather I do right now. And no indoor, and it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter if you have an indoor. It's nice, sure, but it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, I love that he reminds us to use our visualization and our connection with them.
Mm-hmm. He was reminding me how easy the first time I wrote a dressage test on Kenny, how easy it was because I literally walked through the test with him several times. I read it to him, I read it to myself, I tuned in while I was at home and I drew it. And then when I got on my horse to go that day, he was on the same page. And from a competition perspective, there were errors. From a Jana Kenny perspective, man, that was a nice ride.
So cool.
Yeah,
That's what counts.
yeah.
So I'm wondering with Pepper, is there anything that he hasn't told me that I should know about?
He said Beth and I are two tough eggs. He said, you know how people say you're a tough egg to crack? He said to change the perspective on this saying, we don't need to crack each other. When we show up like tough eggs, we're actually the ones that are willing to open up and share. The other thing, wouldn't it be great if my stall was in your office like Mr. Ed? He wants to get on your video calls.
That would be so fun. And I think that could be a goal for our next property. Yeah.
He said, no, just take your window out of your office now. I can put my head in.
And set up a little fence right there. That's funny. maybe that'd be a good compromise with Charlie because I've always wanted to bring him in the house. Yeah.
I just was like visioning him coming up to your window and just appearing. You got it. Bad idea.
It's so funny. Sometimes the cats do that and it cracks me up. But yeah, that would be hilarious. I love it. Now, is there anything that he thinks humans should know that maybe they don't about horses?
What I really want them to know, and I could nitpick in a dozen different ways, but I really want them to know is learn to love more. Horse people that are born with horse in their blood, as they say, come here with that because they are looking to learn more about love. And that is largely what we are experts at. So don't forget that when humans have a tendency to get lost in the game, don't forget to return to love because that's why you were attracted to the horse in the first place. That's why you were quote unquote horse crazy in the first place. Because you came here to learn about connection through love. That love is bigger than what we're taught. He said that's what we have. I mean, imagine a predator and a prey. What other reason could there be? Learn to love another. Learn to love your opposite. Learn to be together. So he would say, it's love. Return to love. So while you get caught in the game, remember to return to love. Why you started in the first place. Why you came here and are infatuated with us. He goes, isn't that funny? Horse people tend to be infatuated with the horse because if they weren't, they wouldn't be drawn to the lessons of love.
That's beautiful.
He said, I know that people that didn't put their seatbelts on just fell out of their chairs.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
I just want to go and hug him. I appreciate him so much right now.
He's very huggable. Is there anything else you wanted to share that I did not ask?
Now he's just being funny. He said, click it or ticket. Put your seatbelts on, people. He said that's his funny way of saying focus, be present. No, he doesn't have anything else to share.
Well, thank you so much. That was awesome.
It's really beautiful, Pepper.
Thank you, Pepper Pony. Does he mind when I call him Pepperoni Pony?
You can use all the nicknames you want, just don't put it on the entry form, please.
Okay, cool. Because that's love, you got to think of all the fun nicknames.
Oh, yeah, no, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Whatever nicknames you want, those come out of love, so he loves all of them. If you're going to show, you better show up because he's the real deal.
Bless that pony. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jana. That was fun.
You're welcome. That was fun.
Is there anything that surprised you from his conversation?
I wouldn't say surprise as much as clarity. A lot of clarity, because I'll admit that some of the things he started to share, the way my mind works with this is like I'm actively listening and receiving, but my animals have taught me how to be in multiple places. So, like, just briefly, for example, is a lot of people know that when you channel, you set yourself aside so the channel can come through. My animals have shown me how to do it without doing that, so that you can be in more than one place at once. Because I used to have to shift out of myself, listen, and then hope I could like shift back in and then speak it. And they showed me years ago how to stay present to all of it. So it took some learning, to some practice, to discern whose voice I'm listening to. So it's not like I hear voices in my head, like Dr. Doolittle, but there's different thoughts and ideas happening simultaneously. And I know which one is his. And then I'm sort of actively sitting there thinking and wondering, ooh, he's sharing this. And that reminds me of something I've been moving through and wondering about. And especially the whole thing with weather. And I will admit, I wonder about tack all the time. And I always kind of ask my horses in the moment, and we figure it out and we try things and we figure it out. But I never took the time to like deepen into it the way he did. And so I'm really glad you asked that question.
Thank you. Oh, I forgot to ask if you had questions for him.
I actually don't.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I was like, I'm being greedy.
But no, this is the thing, is like he answered like all of my questions because of the way I tune in and communicate with them. My mind is actively wondering about the conversation as they're sharing. And then that allows me to wonder my questions as we're communicating. So it's neat. I wish there was a way to, you know, record or video all the conversations that are happening in here when I'm doing this, because it's fascinating to me.
I heard recently that they're developing something, or they have like a very bare bones of something where they're actually recording people's dreams,
Oh, that'd be so cool.
and they're using like AI to produce like brainwave things. Isn't that interesting?
It is. I was having
Yeah.
a dream this morning that one of my friends, who's also a horse person, was showing me very specifically that when there is a discrepancy in a body, so this was specific to the horses, how to tune into that quadrant and refill it, like restore it very quickly. And I was standing there watching her do this, and I looked at her and I said, "What device are you using?" And then my puppy woke me up. So I'm going to have
Oh,
to
wow.
that.
You'll have to tune in to that energy again from your dream and say, hey.
Yes. The the best part is, because I was able to bring enough of that into my consciousness from the dream, I am gonna be able to, I know who to ask and where to tune in to receive the rest of the information. So I can do that. Uh,
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
That's super handy. Yeah, there's so many things out there that are just so incredible to explore.
Yes. And I love that Pepper kept bringing up using your inner compass. So, for those that aren't familiar, Beth can absolutely teach you. It's really easy to learn. It's also thought of as like muscle testing or swaying, dowsing, body dowsing. There's a lot of names for it. Your inner compass encourages you to bring more of your intuition into it, though, because sometimes your body might and your mind might get in the way with a decision, which is where Pepper was saying how you really need to ask your body and mind to sync up and really collaborate.
Yeah, I love that. And if anybody wants the very clear steps, it's very simple. But if you just go to inspiredriding.com/free mini course, FREEMINICOURSE. And there's a bonus section that actually helps you figure out your inner compass. And it's the Powerful Bond mini course. And I added those lessons just because I think everyone needs to have those too.
I actually personally did that mini course, and I think it was that one. It was the first 5-day challenge I actually participated in and finished all those years ago when I met you. And I just remember it profoundly changed where I was at the time, because I had developed some anxiety and I'd never had anxiety riding prior. But life happens. And it profoundly helped me. And I'm in a little bit of this tentative space between the weather and still getting to know Kenny. I think I'm going to revisit, I'm going to do it again with him. And
Yeah, and it's since evolved. I've updated the lesson, so I think you'll still get a lot of benefit from it.
oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I did spend the last 2 days. I used the string meditation a couple of times and also the reset, because there were some things I wanted to kind of reset in my thought pathways, because my mind was starting to go to what happens if he's really fresh? What if he's spooked? Things like this. Um, and I fell asleep with the reset, so I'm not even sure what I was resetting. But very when I do my self work, if I fall asleep, the results are great because I allow myself to just release.
Yeah, your subconscious was sorting it out. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, I just relinquish all whatever need to figure it out, I guess, and then my system sorts it out. It's so liberating.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you did that.
Me too.
All right. Does that feel complete for today?
Pepper says he feels very at peace and content, and he's just so happy and so grateful that he got to share because man, he's been just chomping the bit wanting to share how he feels about things. Um, because he might be small, but he is mighty and he has a lot to share. We might have to talk to him again at the end of this. Once we talk to everybody else, we might have to end cap with him.
Circle back. Yes, to the real deal.
Yes.
Yep.
So I need to ask you, who's next?
I'm feeling like it's Pumpkin.
Okay. Yeah, guys,
Pumpkin's Jana's doggy.
make sure you have a leash because he's a pocket full of joy and everything is amazing. So, oh my gosh, I'm excited to talk to him too.
Hey, I love it. This is awesome. Well, thank you again, Jana, for doing this.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's been so fun, so fun. And again, if anyone has any questions they want to send them anything.
Yeah, we'd love to answer any questions and know that you're enjoying it and get your feedback. That'd be so cool.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much again for listening. Remember to lead with kindness for yourself and for your horse. And may the horse be with you always.